Hello and welcome to Nigerian Movies Today on the network service of the NTA, where we talk about everything concerning the motion picture industry and how to push the industry forward. My name is Ifeoma Dimba. Stay tuned as we start the program with the movie of the week.
15 years. 15 years since you've been home.
Our movie of the week is The Weekend, a bloody thriller that tells the story about an orphan girl who uncovers a shocking secret about her soon-to-be in-laws. The Weekend explores the theme of deception and hidden truths, as well as providing a reflective look at societal issues. The movie was produced by Uche Okocha of Trino Motion Pictures and directed by Daniel Oriahi.
They've been nothing but lovely so far. How can you treat them like this?
It parades a cast of Uzuamaka Anyuno, Buchi Franklin, Kepi Youngbasi, Gloria Noze, Damlola Ogunse, among others.
Micho Chezata, Rio goes chief rep in Chezata. Ah, Rio! I can almost forgive you for getting engaged without letting us know.
A thriller drama filled with suspense.
Welcome back. On our exclusive guest segment, we have one of Nigeria's accomplished and renowned filmmaker and cinematographer.
Our exclusive guest this week is Tunde Kelani. Born on 26th February 1948 in Lagos, British Nigeria, and was sent to Abeokuta in Ogun State at age 5, where he lived with his grandparents. Tunde Kelani, popularly known as TK, is a cinematographer, director, producer, and legendary Nigerian filmmaker. Tunde Kelani attended Okeono Primary School in Ikija and Abeokuta Grammar School for his secondary school education. TK has a deep exposure to Yoruba literature, religion, philosophy, and arts through his grandfather, who was a chief as the Balogun of Ijaye, Kukudi. His exposure influenced his Yoruba theatre scenes and saw many classics such as The Palm Wine Drunkard, Obakosho, Kurumi, and other works by the playwright late Abat Okundi. Tunde Kelani was passionate about photography and he became an apprentice photographer upon completing secondary school. He thereafter trained at Western Nigerian Television, WNTV. TK holds a diploma in art and technique of filmmaking from the London International Film School, London. TK established their writings on Yoruba heritage. Upon his discovery between literature and filmmaking, to mention but a few of his successful Nigerian literary screen adaptation films as directors and or as producers are Koshegbe, Oleku, Thunderbolt Mago, The White Handkerchief, The Narrow Path, Miami, and Dazzling Mirage. Tunde Kelani, in the area of feature video productions, he won some awards to his credit: Tioluwanile 1, 2, and 3, Ayonimufe 1 and 2, Koshegbe and Oleku as directors. TK, an advocate of alternative technology in motion picture production in Africa, he has successfully produced and directed 2 digital features, Shaworoide, Thunderbolt Magun, and Agogo Ewo. In addition to eminent short feature films, A Place Called Home, and Baba's Wisdom, he has also photographed, produced, and directed short feature, some of which include Yaniwura, Anikura, Ogun Ajayi, Taxi Driver, Iwa, and Fokpomoyo. TK produced and directed the first set of work to probe further the possibilities of advanced digital filmmaking, The Campus Queen Abeni. Tunde Kelani took information and entertainment to the grassroots with Mobile Cinema Project Design in Aruba, which was a free open-air community screening in 57 local government development council area of Lagos State, Nigeria. TK has also produced and directed Anila, Cordelia, and as a cinematographer in Eborimi Road, a museum of memory. Help make welcome to the set of Nigerian Movies Today on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority, the popular TK legendary filmmaker Tunde Kelani.
On our exclusive guest segment of the show, we have a veteran, and when you start talking about Nollywood and you haven't mentioned his name, that story is not complete. A professional to the core, a filmmaker, a cinematographer. I can go on and on with the list. In the person of Tunde Kelani. You're welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure meeting a veteran like you. So
It's for me, it's like homecoming because, as you know, I passed through here. I spent many years in television, by the way.
what has kept you going?
What has kept me going is my passion. Since I was very young, I'm lucky to be one of the few people in this world who dreamt and then fulfilled the dreams. I'm still doing what I wanted to do when I was young. So it's taken me a lifetime. I experienced the Yoruba culture from that age and went through from oral tradition, to literature, by the way, and got immersed in Yoruba way of life, culturally, socially, politically, and that's the foundation of what I will become later.
So, with what you have said, one thing I have noticed about your productions, they're always an adaptation of a play, of a novel. Is it that you intentionally do it, or is just coincidental?
I think, look, one thing followed the other. When I came into the family compound, everybody told me stories by what I can call oral tradition. Everyone had a story to tell me. Even my peers, the boys, took on me because I was just a Johnny Just Come. And they just told me amazing stories of spirits, Iwi, and out of the world characters. They probably were lying most of the time, but I didn't know. For instance, they told me, I can never forget, they told me that when somebody had died in the community, they would tell me that, oh, so you think he's gone? No, we'll show you something. They give me a needle and say, you just prick the corners of this room with this needle and you see what will happen to you. So I thought if I did it, the dead person will just come out. So I couldn't, and they were all laughing at me. So my grandparents, my grandfather told me stories about everything the Yoruba were outwardly and all that. Anyway, I remember quite vividly that the first few years of school I was taught in the Yoruba language. English was taught with Yoruba and all the other subjects. So a few years I was beginning to read Dio Fagunwa saga, the Igbo Olodumare, Forest of Olodumare, Wujodeni Gwerumale, Forest of 1,000 Diamonds, all the books. So at night I was lying on my tummy by the lantern reading these stories to my grandfather. So when I came, they were telling me stories, but I was reading to them. And everything stuck after my training in London, before I started making movies, and just went after all the writers that I knew. So that's why I do most adaptation. I do adaptation. But occasionally I go into fiction.
Yes.
That's of interest to me. And it has to have a theme. That's why I would do it. Most of the films I've made, of course, are in Yoruba language because when we started our production company, especially Mainframe Productions, we set out to promote, to document, and research into Yoruba knowledge system, the Yoruba literature, history, and everything
It has
about
to do
that
with it.
culture. And that should answer your question. If I did adaptation, I do more than that, but essentially, I do adaptations.
Okay, talking still on the adaptation, I know one of your movies last year, if I'm correct, please correct me if I'm wrong, that has to do with the times, the life of Professor Wole Soyinka. So can you share about the production?
No, I actually didn't. Well, I work with some other producers like Reynald from the US about what he calls Amazing Grace Yoruba World, which features Professor Wole Soyinka. On the other hand, I've attempted an adaptation of Wole Soyinka's The Lion and the Jewel, which I call CD, Elunjile, with his blessings, of course. And it's not released because I want to remake it.
In fact, please keep your fingers crossed. You know, when a veteran wants to remake, you know what it means.
Well, it's not about veteran because veteran
So
or not.
you have a lot of knowledge when it comes to filmmaking, theater production is vast. Your experience is vast.
I have a vast knowledge
Yes, yes.
in Yoruba world and Yoruba life and Yoruba as my identity. You know, global cinema is about cultural expression,
Yes.
and it's about identity. And that is why I make my own films in my own also, because globally, Japanese will bring their own, Chinese will bring their own, South Koreans will bring their own,
India will bring their
India
own.
will bring in their own languages.
So how do we, especially now in this fast changing world of ours, so how do we sustain, promoting our culture through our films and
Our
productions?
books and everything. The first step is to just speak your languages, because even Nigeria, remember, we have more than 300, 500 languages. And the output, the cultural output, the films that we make has not reflected our cultural diversity. You understand? If we did, then the more color, more stories, authentic stories. And by extension, this is what I think we as African filmmakers should be doing, in the sense that Africa, maybe about 52 countries, and more than 2,000 tribes and languages as well. Imagine if we did that, we just flood the whole world with the rainbow of our colors, of our authentic African stories. You understand? So basically, I became aware from a very young age, maybe because of my experiences as I grew up in the community, and appreciated where God has put me, just thrown me into this culture. And I'm so happy and grateful to God for the opportunity to use it.
So can you share some of your major turning points in the industry when you were starting, some of those huge milestones?
Let me tell you from the beginning.
Yes, sir.
Somehow, from age 14, thereabout, I was curious about the camera or what it could do. Occasionally, I've seen one or two mobile cinema they brought to us, and it never really left my brains. And the first contact I made with photography was I was curious about how the photographs stayed on newspapers. When I see it, I can see the pictures. So I wanted to know. So I started asking people. And literally in Yoruba, they would tell me, ṣé ìwọ mọ̀ pé wọ́n for photo ni, which means they wash it. So I tried to wash the picture off a newspaper, put it in water,
And
put some
wash it.
soap, and left it. And it never came off until they told me they used something to take the picture. A friend of mine, it was called Adio Shogunbi, it was in the primary school. One day, He came around carrying one box camera, and I followed him everywhere. All I wanted for him is just to let me hold it, but he won't give it up. So I just continued to follow him until I entered their house. Found out that his father was a photographer. He let me into the dark room when the old man was not around. And what I saw, what I was going to recognize later as an enlarger. Later, I met the photographer who was delighted and brought out a camera, a brownie box camera, and said he was going to sell it to me for £1 something at that time. So I said I would buy it. But I had no money. I didn't have anything. But my mother had a shop in Osogbo, and I went for holidays in Osogbo at that time. And I wrote a letter to my cousin, who keeps my mother's shop, to help me steal
Oh my
1
goodness.
shilling a day. So when I went on holidays, I could only steal only 5 shillings.
And you needed £1.
I needed £1. So I gave it up. I gave it up because I could not steal anymore because it would collapse the shop and the business. No, but as soon as I got into the Abeokuta Grammar School, I bought my first camera, which was a Kodak 127. And throughout secondary school, I bought about 4 of them. But in the final year, I wanted to buy a first professional camera, and they sold it for maybe £9 something. Luckily, we were going to take school sat, so they give out forms to give to our parents, but the fee was £7 something. So I got the form. I doctored the 7
I was just thinking along that line.
to £9
Just thinking along that line.
and sent it to my father. Took it to my father in Lagos, and my father, who was some accountant himself, then he wondered why why they should send it to him, because I was a USC student. USC will pay. But then he said, okay. So instead of counting the money and giving me the money, no, he went to buy postal orders and wrote the postal orders to be cashed by the school.
Oh my goodness.
So one morning, the school bursar, the late Mr. Babarin sir, sent for me, and I just said, Ekaro sir, Warren, why is your school start fee £9? £9. No, I just didn't lie. I just said, excuse sir, mo yini sir. I doctored it, and he said, but why? Because you see, you are paid for that. I said, excuse sir, there's a camera that I must buy. It's in Lagos, Kingsway stores, and it's £9 something, so I need this money. So he didn't report me, he didn't do anything. So he counted the money and just gave it to me. So from that point, I bought the Alina 35X. So my journey had already started. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I got apprenticed as a photographer in Lagos. But less than a year, I decided I wanted to make movies because I've seen all the films that came into Lagos. I was just going for one. I have my favorite cinemas in Lagos, by the way. And suddenly it appeared to me, you see, there's really not much difference between photography and cinematography.
Yes.
But photography that I was pursuing, you take one picture at a time. But to achieve what they call the illusion of movement in motion pictures, you have to take several in 1 second. So the idea of taking 24, 25 pictures in 1 second appealed to me more than taking just one.
Picture.
So I decided to just become a filmmaker. So basically, that's why I started. And the only way I could start was in television, because we were shooting films. It was advertised in Daily Times, applied, and I was employed at the Western Nigerian Television, PO Box 1460.
You still
in
remember the
Ibadan.
P.O. box?
No, because at that time, there has not been anything like it in the whole of Africa.
Yes.
It was the first television station in Africa. So just walking into the premises alone,
The prestige.
you know the prestige.
Your shoulders
So-
will be high.
If you introduce yourself, oh, by the way, I'm Tunde Kelani. I work in Western Nigerian Television, PO Box 1460, Ibadan. You know, it's go on song. at that time, I wanted to go to London Film School. I'd applied and got an admission. But to pay, I thought that if I changed and joined NBC TV Channel 10 here, it could double my salary from Western Nigerian Television just to save money to go to London Film School. So that's why I became I became a staff here in these premises and worked for several years.
Yes, back.
So when I came back from London Film School, I worked 2 or 3 years more. I resigned. I became independent filmmaker.
So being an independent filmmaker, when you look back, are you fulfilled?
Of course, I'm fulfilled in the sense that there's a difference between working in establishments, and I'm anti-establishment, by the way, because I had to have freedom of what I wear, what I put on, decide on my own closing hours.
You don't want to do suit and ties?
No, because I needed virtually 18 hours a day, you see. So it is my lifestyle, as you know, and I'm sure I took the right decision.
Interesting movies to watch on our next segment.
Interesting movies to watch this week are The Waiter,
Hollywood movie. It's happening live in Abuja right now.
Tanya has taken senior government officials whom he accuses of corruption hostage at the Hilton Hotel in Abuja, Nigeria.
Don't shoot!
At no point in Nigerian history has poverty allegation been more crucial. Naira is falling to the gutter, but the dollar keeps rising to the heavens. But as you can see, I have taken control of the hotel.
American businessman Virgil Lane, who has strong trade ties to West Africa, is among the hostages.
and Dara.
The next crew in this contest is...
Sand on my feet, sand on her cheeks. My mama told me never bring sand to the beach.
I believe he likes me.
Yeah, you're very delusional.
My name is Dara. What's yours?
Sophie.
Mama, no worry. I don't feel like this for outside.
Look, there's nothing going on between us and these guys. They're just my friends.
My lady sick. They talk see if I know if you raise the money. My leg go buy.
Where you want to see that kind of money?
I want to see him.
Idara.
I'm so sorry.
Who is blazing the trail on our Star to Watch?
Clinton Joshua Ezewole is our emerging star to watch this week. He is an actor, model, and brand ambassador. Born on June 6, 1998 in Edo State, Nigeria, Clinton Joshua hails from the ethnic group of Edo State, Nigeria. He developed an interest in fashion and acting early in life, which paved the way for his career in the entertainment industry. Clinton studied theater arts at the University of Benin, and whilst in school, he actively participated in drama clubs and competitions. This helped hone his skills and laid a solid foundation for his professional endeavors. Clinton, who started his career as a model and collaborated with top Nigerian modeling agencies, graced the prestigious fashion events such as JTCO Fashion Weekend and VVS Lagos. Clinton transitioned into acting in 2002. This marked a significant turning point in his career. He gained recognition for his role in When Angels Meet. Subsequent roles in films like A Troubled Heart, Treasure in the Sky further showcased his versatility and talent. Clinton's compelling performances have earned him accolades in the Nigerian motion picture industry. He was nominated for Best Actor at the Nigerian Entertainment Awards and won Best Movie Actor of the Year at the 2023 Nollywood Honors. More of his works are We Are All Yours, The Young Couple, Sandwiched, My Crazy Girlfriend, 365 Days to Love Again, Two-Faced Love, My Sunrise, The Discarded, A Painful Promise, Accidentally Us, and more. Clinton Joshua Ezewele is our first rising star to watch.
Quite an engaging discussion with a veteran of the industry. It's a wrap on the program Nigerian Movies Today on the network service of the NTA. My name is Ifeoma Odimba. Keep updated to us next week. God bless Nigeria and bye.